What's up, Fight Film Fanatic fans? It's your host, Lawson Phoenix here, aka Lawson Leong, and have a very special guest, a man whose work I followed for not to make us feel too old, but legit 20 years. It's Eric Jacobus, everybody.
Hey, what's up?
Um,
Thanks for having me on.
yeah, thanks for doing this. It's funny because, as I was telling Eric before, so before I even had this show. Leroy or Lester, when of Rising Tiger Films was like, I'm releasing this last movie and I'm retiring. So I was like, dude, I gotta interview you. I need to talk to you if you're gonna retire. I need to get the scoop. So I thought I got to interview him, and then I got that led to me interviewing Jay, whose interview just went live as of me recording this with Eric. And Jay was like, "Yo, you should totally interview Eric." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I would love that. That would be the greatest." So Eric Jacobus is, um, if I can tell my listeners here, um, I always affectionately refer to him as the White Jackie Chan, because
I've heard that
Be-
one.
yeah, the just the auteurness of being a director, fight choreographer, stunt doing their own stunts thing, and one of the creators of the Stunt People and the Stunt People forums, which I reference in my other interviews. And we're gonna take a real wild trip down memory lane here. Um, but just getting off the bat here, like so I actually um in doing research for this interview, I remembered you had your own blog where you would watch movies and rate the fight scenes
Yeah.
in them, which I thought was a really interesting. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you got started
Yeah.
doing that?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't called a blog back then. We had no idea
Right.
what that was. This is
Yeah.
1998. Um, so I was a computer programmer at the time at
Hmm.
Shasta College up in Redding, California, near Oregon.
Yeah.
And and my job was just working on websites. I could open up a text doc and just type out a website and put it online and it would work. And
Yeah.
that's just how you did it back then, right? If you wanted a website, you got a little server space, you got 2 megabytes, and you just dumped text files in there, HTML files, and then you'd open the website and then it worked. And
Sweet.
and so I started just reviewing Hong Kong action films that I would buy on the weekend. I'd take all my paychecks and I'd go down to Chinatown, which is like a 5 hour drive one way.
Wow.
And sometimes I'd drag friends along with me so that they could drive back because man, it was exhausting doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would just scour Chinatown in San Francisco. I knew all the shops. I hit them all. And at that time, like they were trying to throw away video CDs because they were trying to make way
Right.
for DVDs.
Hmm.
Hong Kong action was kind of, I don't want to say it was dying. The Hong Kong martial art genre, as we loved it, was really changing after like
Yes.
95. And I really wanted to find all these old movies before they just got thrown away.
Hmm.
And I found some rare ones. Like I found Angry Ranger and I found
Angry Ranger. Yeah.
yeah, and I found these old Donnie Yen movies that nobody ever talked about, like City of Violence. Nobody even talked about that, right?
Hmm.
Not City
Hmm.
of Violence. It was that other one, City of Darkness.
It's
And
darkness. Yeah.
yeah, and I would review them, and I didn't really even like follow the plot. I would just review the action. And
Hmm.
I was just obsessed with it. And I would go frame by frame and try and figure out who all the stunt guys were. There was another website that kind of did stuff like that with Jackie Chan, which was Project J at the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
Remember Project J? That was actually the forum where we all started. And then when Project
Okay.
J shut down, and he would do this, right? He would take Jackie Chan movies, review them. Jackie Chan movies that nobody had ever seen, by the way. Like back in
Yeah.
'98, you have to bear in mind, nobody ever saw Miracles. Nobody knew
Yeah.
Police Story. Nobody ever heard of these movies. And they
Yeah.
were just magical. And he put video clips online. So we all came from that forum. When he shut down, came to the Stunt People forum. I started making these video reviews.
Awesome.
And each one would take me like probably 4 hours to do because I would just like dump my entire soul into these reviews and I would
Yeah.
review every action scene. I'd say how long they were and give a review at the end. And
Yeah.
I love doing that. I did like 260 of those.
You did a lot. Yeah, you did a lot. So I remember in the aughts, I was a teenager in high school and going through it, going through the teenage
Uh-huh.
high school, uh, issues and all that. And there were two things that I remember specifically. It was like I was telling Eric I have an anime podcast, so for the longtime listeners, One Piece. I'd be like, I can't wait to download a One Piece episode. That's going to take me an hour to download this 20-minute episode, but I can't wait for
Uh,
that. And I can't wait to go on the SP forums and see if any of the guys have uploaded something new, even if it's just like a 1 minute test fight,
yeah.
right? I can't wait to see Vlad, Manny, or Eric, or whoever, yeah, Jay, Leroy, whatever, upload just anything on the forums, or talk about a movie they just bought. That was a thing we did on there as well. Or Graham Noble. I feel a real kinship to
Oh
Graham
yeah.
Noble
Yeah.
because we were both fans, basically.
Yeah.
Where most of the people on there were creators, and we were like the fans on there. But then Graham went on to actually start making his own
Yeah.
movies too. So I'm
Yeah.
actually he left me in the dust there. It's still a dream of mine to make my film my own fight scene. But so well, that's why I talk about the SP forums, the Stun People forums, with such nostalgia for the for the listeners in these interviews because it was a real big part of my adolescence. And then when I found, so really quickly, I'm just gonna read all the history, the Stun People movie, well, the Eric Jacobus films, as
Yeah.
far as I remember it. So we have the Immortals. That's
Immortal, yeah.
the first. We got Undercut,
Yeah.
the 30-minute short. We got Contour, it's the feature. We got Dogs of Chinatown, Detective Story, Death Grip, aka Rise and Fail, Roboto 1 and 2, and Blindsided. That's not the full. You've done other shorts and other appearances, but I feel like is that a decent
Yeah, it's the
catalog?
main that's the
Yeah,
main catalog, yeah.
the main catalog. Yeah, yeah. The
I mean,
um.
I think Beard Off needs to be in there personally, but that's
Oh,
just
I do love Beard Off. Beard Off is great. Yeah, that's
everybody
fair.
go watch Beard Off.
Yeah, Beard Off is actually great.
I
Yeah,
had to shave my beard, so I was like, well, I'm not shaving my beard unless I make a short out of it.
exactly. That's a very pro wrestling thing. I was like,
Yeah,
well,
right.
when they do like the hair versus hair matches in Mexico, they're
Yeah,
like,
you got to
well,
make a match out of it. Yeah.
I gotta put on the line. So, yeah, so some people form, so the Immortals, sorry, is it called the Immortals or the
Immortal,
Immortal?
just immortal.
Just Immortal. Okay. I believe that one's still on YouTube. I think everyone
Yeah,
can watch that.
yeah, I
Um,
think so.
it was a feature length. You guys came out the gate really swinging for it, and it's probably one of the last Stunt People movies I saw because I think most people got in like with Undercut and Contour probably,
Right.
but
Yeah.
Immortal was like really ambitious and like you can see one the passion I would say that you guys had and like the strings were there. You guys were not polished, right?
No.
In a lot of ways, but I would still suggest people like to check it out in terms of like the passion that was there for what you guys were doing. Um, but Stephen Reedy directed Undercut as well, right? So, so this was like the Stephen Reedy era, I would say, when you Stephen Reedy made Undercut and
Right. Yeah.
Contour.
Immortal was pre-Reedy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Chelsea Stephenson and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
you probably can't hear that playing because Zoom's good about that.
Oh,
Um, let's talk about so Undercut was like a big hit for you guys. Um, and Vlad's in it. Did he
yeah.
direct it at all, or well,
Now
Stephen
he's
Reedy
just
directed. He's just
yeah.
in it.
Reedy directed it, and Vlad's one of the scientists at the beginning, and I hit
Gets
him
his
with a
leg
pipe, and he
crushed.
pukes, and he gets
Yeah,
his
yeah,
leg
that
crushed.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vlad
Yeah.
really gets put through it in that.
That wasn't the
Um.
first time Vlad's an immortal also. He's wearing a mask in
Oh,
this house fight, and so I was working with Vlad for a little while before that, so I knew Vlad
awesome.
pretty well. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I tell people if Eric is Jackie, then Vlad would be Sam, obviously.
Yeah.
But so let's just talk about Contour because I tell people all the time Contour. So when I tell people about like my love of martial arts movies now, the first thing I tell people about is The Raid, right? Because The Raid is like the movie where it's like, oh, this is something you got to see, and you might not have seen it. Like you probably like heard of like Drunken Master by now or like something else, but maybe you haven't heard of The Raid. So
Right.
that's like my first level of getting people in. That's why it's the first episode that we did on our show. But then the next level is like we got to see Contour. Because this is like the real. You want to see some guys who just made a movie with no money in a warehouse, just martial skill and a camera and the love of the game. This is Contour. And this movie has always meant a lot to me. It's 20 years old now, which is
Mhm.
crazy. It got uploaded on YouTube last year, and to
Mhm.
this day, I think on the comments, Micah from World War in Action was just like still or Micah Brock, yeah, from World War in
Mhm.
Action was just like still the best fight scenes in any American movie,
I think he
and
said
that
fastest.
fastest, yeah,
Fastest non-undercranked fight scene.
fastest non-undercranked, and I think specifically the stuff with you and Andy and the stuff with you and Dennis. Although Ed's fight is also insane. I went back and
Yeah.
rewatched it before this interview. Uh, yeah, it's that. So, can you just talk a little bit about everything that came together for Contour?
Yeah. Yeah, if I could kind of put my finger on who we were at the time,
Yeah,
um, we were like we're kind of like a punk band meets a skate group meets like a sketch comedy group.
yeah,
And we didn't live together, but we spent every day together.
yeah.
Whether it was, shooting movies or we were at stunt practice, we were constantly hanging out with each other. There were girls, we're all dating girls in the group and all this, right? And it was just this
Hmm.
big, like, college frat party. To me, that was like the college experience. Even though I
Yeah,
went through college, um, I did not really have the college experience, so to speak, until I had the stunt people in the Bay Area, especially.
yeah,
And that was really when we had a band, you could say, the
yeah.
equivalent of a band.
Totally.
And so when I met Reedy, Reedy was like he was like our John Lennon. Um,
Hmm.
Dennis was our Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
Uh, Andy, Andy's our George Harrison, and me,
yeah.
I'm Ringo. I just kind of keep things together and I just keep the rhythm going and like I'm really like the least talented one in a sense. Just kind of try and
Very
like
humble, Eric. Very
make sure,
humble.
and I just kind of react to everything,
Right.
right? Like I get it, I
You get
react, and that's all.
yeah. You get your ass kicked by Dennis in this finale, and
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to do it. Like you put me and Dennis up side by side, and it's like a Greek sculpture with like the Hobbit, right? It's just
yeah,
you can't compare the two. And when Dennis would kick, my kicks were ugly, man, and I would just kind of throw them. And maybe that was like the style that people liked because it looks very desperate.
you felt more
Um,
like an underdog. Yeah, you had an
right.
everymanish to your
Right. And
physicality.
and that's like so I interviewed Mars and I will release this episode for my
Oh,
podcast. And he
awesome.
talks about how he and Jackie invented Jackie's martial art like choreography system in Dragon Lord. And it's the same choreography Jackie basically used
Mm,
from then on. And
wow.
it's the style was like kind of styleless, right? It's when you
Yeah,
watch Dragon Lord and the fighting is just kind of there's no martial arts. It's just people swinging.
right.
And the only martial artists in that movie are the villains. Those are
One,
the
you
only martial artists. Everybody else, I mean, that's actually
yeah,
the plot. Is Jackie Chan is terrible at martial arts. He doesn't
yeah,
study, and he kind of pretends, he does the moves, but he doesn't know how to use that stuff, and he never uses it, right? It's
yeah,
never the solution. The solution
right.
is always heart. And
Yeah.
what he the Mars described it as rescue style action, kind of this desperation, yeah,
Okay.
rescue style. And I thought that was really kind of poignant. And that's kind of like the style I gravitated toward, which is just like go as fast as you can, be relentless, try and get through the guy. And if you get your
Yes.
butt handed to you, then you fall
Yeah.
down, right? And that's kind of the
Yeah.
style. And so, Dennis he's just like a very kind of,
A
he's
machine.
just a different machine, right? And
He's
Andy
just yeah.
too, right? And they're both Terminators in
Yeah.
their own ways.
Andy with the
It's,
UMBU fit
yeah,
also. That was a
yeah,
great
yeah.
shout
It
out.
just made sense.
Yeah. He was doing
Um,
some Wing Chun in there in the
yeah,
it was a shout out
right,
to the Twilight oh sorry, not Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Star
right, yeah.
finale.
Yeah, we just
Um
we just would eat that stuff up every day. And so
yeah.
what you see when you look at Contour, right?
Yeah.
What you see when you watch these fights, you're not really watching, amazing choreography necessarily. You're watching a relationship. And that's how I
Mm,
describe it to people, is that
mm,
it's very difficult to do action like that unless you have a relationship with the person, like a very good one.
yes. Yeah.
And it's not just that we trained stunts together. It's not just that we, all knew all the same movie references, but we would spar. Like we fought each other, on
Right.
Sundays, we'd put the gloves on, we'd start hitting and, we getting knocked around, someone gets sidekicked in the eye, bloody nose. It happened, right?
Yeah.
And we never took any of it personally because we knew that the point of sparring to us was to make great action films.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted. That's all we cared about.
Yeah.
And so that's really all that movie is eight
Hmm.
guys and a female kind of coming together and making
Yeah.
something crazy because we just love each other and we want to do the greatest action possible.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, and it really shows through with the effort. I mean, I mean, you say it may it's like you say, oh, it's not the best choreography. I'm sure artists are always the hardest on their own work. I know this, specifically and talking to artists and surrounding myself with artists. But okay, some of the stuff in that movie is still, I mean, more than holds up. It has not been touched. I mean, the finale of Ed reversing the chain thing,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
exactly. I mean,
insane. I know how many takes
yeah,
that took for you guys to do.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
there's you have the cool Jackie thing at the end where you show the outtakes or whatever. But
Well, let
um,
me just explain what I said then. When I say
sure.
it's not that you're watching good choreography because yes, there's good
I
choreography, but
mm,
how did we choreograph that? By having a relationship.
yes, yeah,
That's how it worked. Like you
that
can't,
yeah,
it doesn't work the other way, right? Like if you have
right,
one person who's just kind of dictatorial and you bring a bunch of people in, you bring the best in the world, but you don't know them and you try and
yeah,
make chemistry there, like it's gonna fall on its face. It just doesn't.
yeah,
But in by the way, that's why the raid works. Because all those guys knew
yes,
each other. They were fighting each other for their entire lives. They were
yeah,
all best friends. I guarantee you, they went out drinking and eating every night after that shoot,
yeah.
and they're probably all still friends to this day.
Camaraderie, yeah. Well,
You know,
because yeah, isn't I forget the actor's name who plays Mad Dog, but isn't he Iko Uwais' he was his
I think
Sifu.
so. I think so.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
I feel bad
So,
now because we did the episode about it. I think I said it on that episode. But anyway,
Chep
yes,
Chep, is that his name? That
something
his name?
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Um, I'm pretty sure he was his whatever they would call it in Silat, Sifu master. But teacher. I wanted to bring that up actually because I told this to I think Leroy and Jay that if I was like rich tomorrow, well, I do a lot of things, but one thing I would do like as like a personal my vanity project, my rich guy vanity project would be I'd show up at Netflix's office and be like, all right, here's what's gonna happen, and I'd show the names of all the people from the SP forums. I'm like, we're gonna hire all these guys. We're gonna do like a 12 episode miniseries, and these guys are all gonna fight each other. And this is the roster of fights, and it's and I know a lot of this those gentlemen and ladies have moved on to other careers and
Yeah.
stuff, and I'd pay them whatever they want to bring them back.
Yeah.
Bring them back to bring them back in the game. Um, and it's like okay, and also who's doing the core? We got Eric, Vlad, Eric, man, I'm bringing all these guys. You guys already, well, especially like Vlad and Manny are already doing a lot of the stuff we see like in Marvel and other in TV and such, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so that's what I would do. And especially when you're so right because when I think about like what would I be excited to see on the SP forums when people would show up, it'd be like, oh, is it another Eric Dennis fight? Or is it another Vlad? Is it another Manny and Sean Bernal fight? Right? Or is it Lester or Leroy and Ed? One of their
Yeah.
classics. So they can have another. Um, and the collaborative effort was really a big thing there, especially talking to Jay about how he wanted to fight everybody, right? And so yeah, I that's what Contour really brought home. And I gotta say uh that I still consider the finale between you and Dennis one of my favorite fight scenes of all time.
Thanks.
We have we're gonna start a running thing on the show. We're gonna figure out what the best fight scene ever is.
Hmm.
Um, like every movie we do, which we give like a 5 to, we're gonna add it to the list. And so when we do contours, I'm gonna add Eric and Dennis to the
Spoiler alert.
list.
All right.
Spoilers for the if you
Cool.
listen to this part,
Cool.
um, so after contour, we have Dogs of Chinatown, and I think what's
Hmm.
interesting is so it's kind of like what you were just talking about. But so did you bring in Ray to be the villain? Was that your idea?
Yeah.
Because you needed someone that you knew how to work with,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Because the stuff with you and him in that movie is great. Uh and the fight with him
Brian.
and Brian is also
Yeah.
great, really tragic.
Yeah.
Spoilers for that movie, I
Yeah.
guess. Um but a lot of the other stuff was you're kind of like John Wick in that movie before John Wick's a
Right.
thing.
Right. Right.
You do a lot of like disarming people's guns and shooting them
Yeah.
with it. And can you talk about that experience a little bit? Because
Yeah.
you
I
weren't
mean,
in charge of that one as much. So
no. No, I
yeah,
mean um Micah Moore directed that and
yes,
I think he saw me from Contour and Undercut. And I mean, it's funny when I think back on it. He's like, man, I thought you were so funny. You got this great comedic, action comedy vibe to you. So I want you to play a cold-blooded like killer and an
Yeah.
assassin with no comedy.
Yeah. You're like a
And
GTA protagonist.
yeah, I'll be honest, man, like that was really hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so out of my own skin that whole movie. I mean, I'd never played a serious part before.
Right.
Even when you watch Immortal, and I'm the villain in Immortal. I mean, it was different, right?
But you're a
But
little more like scene chewing villain. Like you're like a little more not cartoonish, but like you're like a it's not serious as much.
no, no,
Yeah, yeah.
but in Dogs, it had to be very kind of very straight,
Very
and it was
straight.
entirely uncomfortable with that.
Mm,
Mike and I are really close now, but
yeah.
at the time, like we were butting heads quite a bit
Okay.
because we'd never worked together, and we were both directors. Um, we were both choreographers. He had done plenty of stuff before. And here's this like movie that has, yeah, it wasn't a big budget, but he did have a budget and he was paying me. Um,
Yeah.
and so I just wanted to do the best job I could. It was really hard.
It looked really cool. It's
It was,
got a lot of
oh,
black
it's
and white
beautiful,
aesthetics.
beautiful movie. In fact,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be black and white originally, but the
Mm-hmm.
distributor decided against it and they released it in color. But I saw a cut of, in fact, I think I have it. It's a cut of my fight with Ray. It's black and white. It's like beautiful. It was
Yeah.
shot to be that way. I think it would have been a lot better if
Yeah.
it had been black and white. But we did that movie for it was what, like a 3 or 4 week shoot. The fight with Ray was one day. We really blasted through that. Did not previs any of it. Just showed up, just started shooting.
Tells a
Um,
great story regardless, honestly, where you are fighting from underneath, very Jackie Chan. You've been shot, you're fighting from underneath, but you you go after his basically you outsmart him, you go after his leg. And that final I've rewatched that final sequence a bunch where you're like throwing these punches, but they're all just feints so you can low kick him, right?
right.
Is that fair to say about that?
Yeah, I guess so. It's been a
You're
while
kind
since
of
I've
like
seen it.
throwing all these like punches.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, um yeah,
See, the thing
so
is, we actually didn't really think too much about the choreography. We would just
okay.
like the way that we choreographed fights is very Hong Kong, where
Yeah.
it's a line on the script and it's like
Mm,
fight scene and it's 2 minutes. So we've started here. We know we want to kind of go through the warehouse and get over here. We have 8 hours to do it, right?
yeah.
And we didn't really, and like I wasn't really thinking at the time about like here's the plan for the fight, right?
Right.
And so here's Act One, here's Act Two. We just never thought like that, but it
Yeah.
tends to kind of fall into that
I think
pattern.
you
But
yeah, I
yeah.
think you just have like a knack for it though. It kind of comes out just when you're doing it on the fly, right?
But
Cuz
again,
and
it
then it gets
helps with
edited
someone
it
like
too.
Ray. It helps with
Right.
someone like Ray. I knew Ray very well. I'd gone all over the place with that guy and fought him a lot, and so it's like butter fighting him, you know?
Yeah. I was happy to see Ray get a big bad role because he
Yeah,
was a great
yeah,
number two in
yeah,
Contour.
yeah,
Interestingly, in Contour, like when I look at it like from like a real dweeb power scaling perspective, was like what Ray's like as strong as Dennis is in this movie. Like he's clearly the number two, but like he's rinsing all these guys with these sticks and all that. Like
yeah,
he's clearly like as good as he is. And like the
yeah,
opening like long take, you fight Ray for as long as you fight Dennis about.
yeah, yeah,
Like they're very much portrayed as equals.
yeah, yeah,
And Ray fights two guys at the end. He fights off Andy and
yeah. And Vlad,
Vlad,
yeah,
I was gonna call him like Weekend Vlad or whatever, Wig Vlad. So he's a little not
Wig
at full
Vlad, yeah,
strength, maybe. But
yeah,
anyway, um, I remember asking about this, and you don't have to go into this as much if you don't want to, but because we were talking about the relationship you had with the people in Contour, and you have one with Ray, obviously.
yeah,
So in Dogs of Chinatown, there's this one really short fight you have at the end, and I remember asking about this on the forums. I was just like, oh, it's kind of weird how short that was. Like, I kind of thought there might be like a little more juice to that, and you were like, yeah, I didn't really know that guy, so it didn't
yeah. I
really
know.
go.
He likes that guy. That guy showed up. He's got this
Yeah,
resume. He's got this
yeah,
resume. He's got an agent. And he's got all these people that are pushing him. Like, here's the new like actor, new star, whatever. And I'm like,
uh-huh.
okay, oh yeah, lots of fight choreography experience. It's like, can you really do fight choreography? And they're like, oh yeah,
Can you
he's done
move?
stage combat. Da, da, da. They go down the list, the martial arts and all this. I start fighting. I'm like, this guy can't do anything.
He can't move.
He,
Yeah,
really hard to work with him. I mean, he was
Yeah,
stiff. He didn't really react to punches. He couldn't choreograph with me. So if I go like this, what could you do? I had nothing, right? Now, if I were
yeah,
to tell Ray, like, what if we go da, da, like that? No, yeah, cool. And then you think, okay, yeah, yeah, good idea. Let's do this. Okay, maybe this. Not like, how about this? Yeah, we found it. Cool. Let's shoot it. And we got it. And it's
yeah.
perfect. But
Right.
if you don't have that relationship, then it's just you kind of like pushing the cart. And
Yeah.
that's a certain kind of fight. Made it work. Super short.
I,
Not
would
very.
would you say, and we could talk a little bit about fight choreography because I love talking about it because it's fun. But is it because you and the people in Contour and a lot of people in the SP forums, you were all raised on the same, you all knew the Hong Kong rhythmic style, and you all knew that this is the language. That's the language.
Yeah.
You have a whole series on YouTube. Check it out, listeners, about movement languages, right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
guys all had this shared movement language, and
Sure.
perhaps this gentleman, watched some American movie
Sure.
that just whatever.
Different
Yeah, so
language.
in different language. Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's what made the beautiful thing like Contour happen and
Yeah.
stuff. And
I think you're probably right about that.
yeah,
I know that anytime any of the guys from the forum would come and visit, it was automatic,
yeah,
same wavelength right away. Like Sean Bernal shows up, and I was like, "How fast you want to go, Sean?" He's like, "Yes," and we went as fast as we could, and it was easy. It was easy.
Flower Thieves is such a good fight. Is that the only time you and Sean ever fought?
And then we did their film while they were here also. Those who go to hell.
Yes, I love that
Yeah,
one. Where Sean
yeah,
beats the entire stuff
yeah. He beats up
people.
all the stunt people. Yeah, that's great.
He killed, not just beats up. What's that old Bruce Lee quote about Chuck Norris where Chuck is like, Bruce, you just want to beat the world champion in karate. And Bruce is like, no, I want to kill the world champion in
Right,
karate. Sean
right.
kills every stunt person you can
Yeah, yeah,
remember.
yeah. He kills everybody.
And those who go to hell. And
Yeah.
that's Manny, you. Well, anyway, no, I
But I
wish
think you're
that's,
right. We
I,
we
yeah,
definitely spoke that same language with our bodies, and
yeah,
with that comes there's a tempo.
yeah,
There's a You don't really realize it when you're kind of ingesting Hong Kong cinema. When I talk about Hong Kong cinema, I really mean like 1979 to 1995. That's like that
yeah,
gap,
yeah,
that
yeah,
period when we just kind of lived off of that stuff.
yeah.
There's some American action in there too. There's a little bit of Japanese action. There's some Sonny Chiba. We did a Sonny Chiba movie one time,
Mm.
but really like the movement language is based on Hong Kong, 1979, 1980, 1995.
Yeah,
And with that comes, like I said, there's a rhythm to it. There's also the tendency in Hong Kong cinema, like what your goal of the fight, like the sort of meta goal, is to make the best shapes, right? To sort
yeah,
of make the best aesthetics. You're not
hmm,
really telling a character story of one guy dominating the other guy so much as trying to make the best aesthetics and trying to make moments.
yeah,
And of course, there's character. Of course, there's story, right? Like
yeah.
Wheels on Meals is like the best example.
Uh,
Drunken Master 2, perfect example. There's a
yeah,
character with a clear goal, another character, they fight.
they fight.
But in every moment, the reason that they're milking those scenes, like the Wheels on Meals fight would be a 90-second fight scene in America. The Drunken Master 2 fight would not be 10 minutes long. It would be two and a
Yeah,
half, right?
yeah,
You would kind of get the character stuff. There'd be big character moments, right?
mm,
Um, but the reason that they're milking that stuff and they make it into a 10-minute scene is because it's like you're expanding on a song. Like you have a riff and you're gonna hit that riff and you're gonna play that riff for 2 or 3 minutes. And then you find another riff and you're gonna play that for 2 or 3 minutes, right? And it's
hmm,
not, and it's much more of like a jam session, right? And it's an aesthetic experience. It's not the same thing as an American movie. It's very
yeah,
different from an American movie.
yeah,
American movies got to get you there. We got to get to the explosion and all that. The fight scene, it's got to be quick, right? But the
hmm,
fight scene in Hong Kong cinema, that's where the aesthetics happen,
yeah,
right? Because the bodies are the aesthetics in that,
right,
and that's what we, as indie filmmakers, as I don't know, what for whatever reason, we were very that was very appealing to us. We wanted to live in that world, and so that's why we all spoke that language, and that's why we all knew that when we were squaring up and we all ran in to hit a mark, we knew to stop there and start making shapes and make the
yeah,
best shapes possible. And it
right,
wasn't about it wasn't about who looked better. It was never about that. We always wanted to bring each other up, right?
hmm,
The goal was we weren't like keeping track of like number of falls. We just didn't do that, right? It was never the point. The point was to make the fight as good as possible. And every now and then, we'd meet somebody who was like much more about them, and they
Mm,
just didn't fit in. If it's
mm,
about you, then that's kind of like a very American thing, right?
sure.
For you to, I've got this style, I want to show it, and I'm going to beat everybody up. It's like, well, that's not what we do, man. That's
Yeah.
over there. That's in Hollywood. That's over
Yeah.
in these other places. So
That's Vin Diesel and The Rock being
yeah,
like,
and those are great fights, but that wasn't the language we spoke.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's interesting because I mean, so what? I guess we should. What style would you say you mostly employed in your fight scenes? Like Hong Kong style kickboxing? Well, I guess we should ask what martial arts have you trained? Just to out the.
Oh man, like I started martial arts way late when I was about
Hmm.
20. I started with Taekwondo,
You were
and
already making
then
movies before you started training
yeah,
martial arts.
yeah, I
Yeah,
trained martial arts so I can make better movies.
hell yeah.
And yeah, I'd
It's good
done
to.
like Kempo before that, and I'd done
Yeah.
diving and gymnastics. I did that stuff before I made movies.
Hmm.
Was not a martial artist though, by any means.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but I could like, I could pick up the movement pretty quickly. I picked up Taekwondo pretty quickly. Um, and then started learning Hapkido around '05 with Dennis, Ray, and Troy
Yes.
and
Yep.
Donovan. I'd go to
Hmm.
their studio and we'd spar over there. And then we just like at a certain point, man, it's kind of like opera, right? It's like when
Mm.
people ask, well, what is Jackie Chan's martial arts style? And it's kind of like, well, that's not really the point,
It's not.
right?
Not
Like,
in the modern movies. It's a very that
yeah,
question is really more for like the 70s, like the old school thing. With like the
yeah,
point was like, well, they do this kung fu and it's whatever.
right.
But once the 80s hit, it's not really. You're right.
But
It's not really the
even
point.
but even those guys, right? Even those guys who are doing Eagle Claw and all this, they didn't
Right.
just train Eagle Claw. They trained
Right.
opera.
Yes.
They trained
Yes.
opera, and what
Yeah.
opera is it's a martial art for an audience. It's
Mm.
not a martial art to defend yourself. It has this
Yes.
long lineage and it's fascinating. In fact, I think it's more interesting than a fighting martial art. And I think
Mm.
it's unfortunate that we've kind of tried to retcon Chinese martial arts to be about fighting when in fact they were theatrical, they were
Yeah.
dramatic, they
Yeah.
were they were sacred, they were ritualistic, they were for entertainment.
Hmm.
These are the real roots of what we know as Chinese martial arts
Yeah.
nowadays. And I think that if we could kind of acknowledge that, we'd probably have a better head on our shoulders about like how to even bring martial arts to cinema,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I
Right. So
completely
that it's
agree.
not about fighting.
Hmm.
But again, that's our language. That's still the language I speak to this day.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
but
it's
that's
yeah.
just and I love it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I love. It's our bread and butter.
No, I think I completely agree. I think if people could just get off this idea of who but what would actually win in the fight. I mean, this is essentially what Jet Li's Fearless was about, kind of, right? And like
Yeah.
there's a lot of martial arts movies that are kind of like about this, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's like if we could get past this like whole
Yeah.
who'd win in a UFC fight thing. It's like that's not the
Yeah.
point of the
Yeah.
narrative.
Yeah.
It's not the point of what's
Yeah.
happening. Detective Story. That's the right name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, I'm a sucker for any of the, police story shout outs. But can you tell me what it was like to collab with? Is it Hideyoshi
Hiroshi.
or is Hiroshi? Yeah, yeah. So
Hiroshi.
he
Yeah.
came uh to basically like he basically had like a stay
Mhm.
with like in America to like film stuff for like it was like a year or so, or 2
Year or two.
years,
Yeah. Yeah.
year or two. And one of the things he got to film was Detective Story where you and him play buddy detectives. And
Yeah.
it's like an hour long movie and it has some really uh great 2v2 stuff in the finale, including a really great exchange between you and Ed. One of the best on people fights. Definitely the thing with you and Ed in the house. But can you talk to me a little bit about that experience? And
I can't remember where I met Hiroshi. I think he emailed me, and I think he was going to SF State at the time.
yeah.
And he said, "I've got this detective movie that I want to do." It was called Mr. Detectives at the time. He changed it to Detective Story,
Mm,
and I said, "Cool, let's do it." It was ultra low budget, zero money.
zero
I think we
money.
shot it in like 20 days or so. It was really quick. And Hiroshi was just very laid back filmmaker. He has a different he kind of has a different action aesthetic
Mm,
than we did. And I thought that was fun because he kind of came into the stunt people, and I was really fascinated with working with him because he has such a different style of movement.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if I even fight Hiroshi in that movie.
No. So okay, you talked about this on the
Maybe you gotta
forums.
tell me about Detective Story.
Yeah. So you talked about this on the forums. Here's what so there's a big 2v2 fight at the end.
Yeah,
It's you and Hiroshi against Ed and Lucas.
yeah,
And I remember I think somebody said like, "Oh, Lucas graduated to the big boys. He's a big bad now in this movie." Which I thought was very funny. And so somebody, I don't remember who, but somebody was like, "Oh, you know what would have been way cooler than just like a regular stunt people fight is if you guys like got mixed up in the 2v2 and started fighting each other." And you replied with, "Oh, I actually pitched that." But the movie kind of tells the opposite story, which is that
yeah,
you guys are actually stronger together. So
yeah,
like you had to basically pick a lane between the comedic beat
yeah,
of oh we're fighting each other now because it's a free for all and the
yeah,
we're stronger and we're together as a team,
yeah,
which you
yeah.
know I I I mean I think either could have worked out, obviously, but what we got was really cool. So
Yeah, and actually
yeah,
Hiroshi was the one that pushed back on it, which I think
yeah,
was smart because he had an eye for the story.
yeah,
For me, I'm just thinking like, how can we make this goofy?
right,
But he thought like he said like, no, 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 you and I need to team up, and that's how we beat the last guy.
yeah,
And we really hammed that up at the end. It's like it actually played really well against Lucas.
yes. It's a
We
really
shot
funny
that
exchange.
fight. We
Oh,
shot
sorry.
that fight in the same place where we shot Flower Thieves. Uh,
Yeah,
and that was where I used to live.
cool. That's awesome.
Shot like 8 movies there.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, so this is really funny. The final bit of that fight is it's you and Orochi 2v1 Lucas, and you keep going to hit Lucas, and he keeps like beating you to the punch, and then you just keep selling in more comedic ways until you've just had enough. You just take your shirt off and
Yeah,
then hit him with this crazy 720 and like sends him over the thing. And you're like, so he keeps punching you, punching you, punching you. You're like, all right, fuck. And then you just hit him with a 720 that sends him
yeah,
over. It's
yeah.
so good. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
let me just mention like so. Lucas is trained in Kyokushin. I met Lucas at
yes,
WonderCon. He walked up to me after a panel and he was super awkward. He said, "Hi, my name's Lucas. I've trained martial arts. I really want to join your crew. What can I do?" He was so Japanese about it. He was like almost kneeling, and I'm like, "Dude, just come to stunt practice on Sunday. It's cool." And then
yeah,
we started shooting with him right away after that. Um,
yeah,
and but Hiroshi, you know, because I didn't get to fight Hiroshi in that movie, we ended up doing 2 movies after that.
yes,
Yeah, we did Hand Over Fist and we did
yes,
Ness. And
yes. Love
and
both
the
those.
yeah, and in both of them, there's like we actually use the same gag in both of them, which is that he punches me so hard that it hurts my arms. I can't use my arms. Really simple.
Yeah,
But that's actually reality because, because the way Hiroshi punches ain't like a normal person.
yeah.
So he has this weird crazy superpower where he would punch, his arm would be like this for a minute. And then at the end of the punch, it would turn 180. And
Oh,
what that would do is it would just jack you up so bad whenever he punched. If you blocked, it was like a shockwave. I've
yeah,
never really had issues getting bruised forearms in my life. Usually other people complain about my forearms, but
yeah,
that dude would mess me up. And
yeah,
so that was the same gag we did both movies. Like ah, I just
yeah.
did it in both.
This is during the when you were doing that cool leg lace takedown in your fights because you leg lace
Yeah,
him and Ness. I
yeah,
think you did it to Andy and Informant. That's around the same time as this.
yeah. Did I?
The
Maybe, yeah, maybe I
I think
did.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
You also
yeah.
do it in the first Ness fight in the same as the same
Yeah.
character, so it makes sense.
There was a
Um,
Vovinam guy in our group at the time. His name was Jackie, and he taught me some leg takedowns, and I started using those.
yes. And because this is so obviously, I always kind of wish that Hiroshi would come back. I think he filmed one thing with Manny also that I
Mm-mm-mm.
actually found recently just because I was like, did Hiroshi ever do anything else when he was here? Because I really enjoyed his. He did bring a different, like,
Yeah,
kind of like aesthetic, and I really enjoyed
yeah,
that. And Hand Over Fist is straight up like your guys' Wheels on Meals
yeah,
fight. It's really cool. Really
yeah.
love that one. But this leads into another. I would say since Contour, the next biggest project, which is at least for in the Eric Jacobus catalog, I would say, which is Death Grip, also known as Rise and Fail. Um, and the big thing here was that you guys were able to get Johnny Young Bosch, and this was only a couple of years after he made that movie with those Power Ranger friends, the um the home invasion movie he
Oh
made.
yeah, so it was like
Uh,
oh 08, oh 07, oh 08.
yeah, let me see if
Yeah,
I can
so it was about
actually.
4 years after that. Yeah, yeah, it was
Um,
Broken Path.
Broken Path. Thank you. Yes. Yes. And if you guys haven't seen Broken Path, we might do it on the show. I would love to do it actually because it's wild, but we're doing like a lot of more Asian cinema first. Kind of circling back to other stuff, but we'll probably we'll probably do it on the show, listeners, at some point. But Johnny Young Bosch, if you don't know, he is a Power Ranger. He's also the voice of Ichigo in Bleach, and he has a lot of voices actually. But so he's a pretty well known guy, and he. So you talked about this in the build to Death Grip, where like it was cool to get him because like he's a name, but also he had a similar language to you
Yeah,
guys because he had the similar rhythm and style.
yeah.
And the sad thing is about this movie that I know because emailed you about this and you were very open about it was you're having your big climactic fight with Johnny Young Bosch and your arm gets fucked up because you
In
take a
real
big
life.
fall on the
Yep.
thing. Did it was it broken or was it just like
I don't know what happened. It like if it
couldn't
may have
use?
dislocated slightly. It just even to
Yeah,
this day, it's only like 90%,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um,
Damn. So that was a big
so
one. That was a big
I
one.
couldn't
That
use my arm in that fight. And so
yeah,
you can kind of see I'm kind of doing this, and it's
yeah.
like, well, I guess I'll just I guess I'll just do this.
Yeah. What you're
Yeah.
able to come up with after that is actually kind of is pretty brilliant. Knowing that you actually can't use your arm, right? It's really cool. But also, it must have been devastating to. I mean, at least I know I was like, oh man, I would love to see because in the pre-release of it, you and Johnny have like a
Yeah.
90-second just going balls to the wall fight where you're just like,
Yeah.
uh, you get to go all out in that one. And
Yeah.
so, how did that? Yeah, was that uh I guess my question would be like how were you able to recover from the arm injury and how were you able to come up with the rest of the fight after that because
Uh,
did you have
boy,
to
I mean,
end shooting that day and come back or did you
I think we kept going that day.
you didn't go to the
Um,
hospital or anything, you just had to keep
nah,
going?
yeah, no, I didn't do that.
Okay.
I ended up going and they looked at it like, oh, it looks fine to me. I did actually, they never know. Um, they never know. Either they know nothing or like the whole thing has to come off and like,
Yeah,
it's one or the other.
yeah,
They're never like, oh, it's a subtle thing. You need to change this part of your lifestyle, right? It's not like
yeah,
that. So, um, no, I think we just we ended up kind of doing something more Bruce Lee, where play it
right,
like, okay, well, let's just make Kenny smart now,
yeah,
right? If he doesn't have his arm, let's have him be smart,
yeah,
and kind of went more Bruce Lee, which
yeah.
works.
I
It
could see
worked
that
out in the end.
actually now that you say it like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
um Luckily before your arm got hurt we got the knife fight with Alvin. And so, look, I was said before, Contour, Eric and Dennis, the finale, got to watch that. I believe you guys have this fight on the channel, right? For
I used to, but now somebody claimed copyright ownership over it, which sucks because it's
that
my
does
movie.
suck. Wait,
This
how's
is
that even
like
possible?
because some distributor is distributing it in America and they think I'm just some pirate like putting it on, this is
That's
annoying.
so dumb. Well, I
Uh
apologize to the
yeah.
listeners. You can't just well, you know what? Buy Death Grip for this for this
Yeah, there you go. Go
to
find
watch
it.
this
I think it's like I don't even know. It's probably streaming in some places.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tubi? Is it on Tubi?
Probably. It
Okay.
seems like a Tubi movie.
Every time I tell my co-host, every time my co-host come up with a movie to watch, we're like, "Oh, how are we gonna watch this?" And she's like, it's probably on Tubi."
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, this knife fight that you and Alvin have is a top top three fights you've ever had. Debatable. It's how where would you regard it? Because I think from a technical perspective, it might be the best weapons fight in North American history.
Oh, thanks.
I
Thanks. I mean,
consider it that highly. Yeah.
thank you. Well, how do I start? I mean, so I met Alvin on Detective Story actually. He was one of the guys that
Yeah.
auditioned in this group fight outside. And he shows up and like there are three other guys and they're okay, but I'm like I know who Alvin is. Like he's like a South Bay guy and you kind of run with these like some of the like South Bay martial art groups, right? And he's like, yeah. I kind of knew who he was.
Mm.
Um, and that guy's like a different animal.
Yeah.
Because he brings acting to his fight scenes and he doesn't get tied to any kind of movement style. And so when we did that fight, it was like there have been so many of these like kind of Filipino knife fights going on at the time, and everything's very technical. Like
The
that
raid
it's
had
all like
just happened, and like people might not
yeah,
have known about the raid, but like obviously you guys knew about the raid. Like it was.
yeah, and so like a lot of the knife fighting was very what like it's all technical, right? It's all very technical. Like this happens and this da, and then a stab, right? And then
Yeah.
maybe it's like a volley of those things,
Yeah.
and it never feels very sincere, right? Because whenever I've watched a knife fight, I see none of that. Instead, I see people swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Alvin, what if we just swing for the fences? But we're both technical enough to be able to like to be able to exchange, right? It's like we're trying to find that line between, pure desperation and pure technique. We're trying to find something in between.
Yeah.
And we called it vines because we weren't thinking in terms of technique at all. It was all very stream of consciousness. And there's like that fight is like a series of like five shots in total. They're like these
Yeah, it's
very long takes.
crazy. The takes are so long,
They're very
considering
long
the
takes.
intricacy of the choreography.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
25 moves, and it's all
Yeah.
just kind of very like all over the place. We're kind of moving around, and the camera op too. That's the other thing people don't know. That's actually a fight with three people. Drew Daniels, who shot Honora. I'm gonna name drop him right now. He shot Honora.
Mm.
He shot our movie first, and that's why that movie looks so good. And
Yeah.
he's the third performer in that fight, man. And like the way
Yes.
that because he's able to frame, and it's very natural. Without
Yeah.
that, I don't think that fight would even matter. So
Hmm.
the three of us all kind of working together, so Drew sometimes would be like, should I go over here? And I'm like, cool, that's a cool move. What if we change the angle like this? And that fight took 2 days and it was nonstop. Like we
Mm.
probably there were some takes in that. We probably did 40 takes of some of those
Wow.
shots. Yeah.
Jackie Chan level.
Yeah. Yeah. We just wanted it
That's,
perfect. We wanted it perfect.
I
And
mean, it looks so
it
good.
was maddening. I have a behind the scenes video of it, making that knife fight. And that's on the
Yeah.
channel. You can find that. And you can
Yeah.
see like it's just so frustrating. And they're metal, right? These are metal knives. They're dull, but we were going full speed with metal knives and we had real knives for close-ups, but we had these metal knives for like the shoe leather. And
Right.
we'd get hit with those things, man, and they'd take out chunks of skin. I mean, it was
Oh
it
man.
was wild. I remember getting hit right in the collarbone and it just nicking off a piece of my skin. So
Yeah.
that behind the scenes is fun. Check
Yeah.
that out.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Yeah. Death Grip. It's like I was in for the Johnny Young Bosch, of it all, and for another Eric Jacobus feature. It's like, oh, another feature, yeah. And then that knife fight. That's the big that was like it's like back when I used to do stand up or whatever, and it's like, oh, I have this one killer bit. I was like, this is like the thing. I'm gonna throw this on the YouTube, and this was gonna
Right.
make everyone buy my stand up special or whatever. Because it's
Yeah.
like that's what that knife fight was. It was like, oh, you got to show that to the people. Uh, and this was also during the, if I could call the Eric Jacobus long sweeping arm attack era. I don't know what the actual term for this is, but you were doing a lot more like sweeping types of punching
Huh.
during this time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Nope.
okay,
Tell me about me. I'm
so
curious.
like, okay, so like Contour era, it's like yeah, you have like the punches and kicks, they're tighter.
Yeah.
Your punches are like tighter. They're like
Yeah.
but yeah, during this era, it feels like you're. I think it's partially maybe the way it was filmed. It's
Huh.
like your punches are way more like out, like sweeping
Oh, interesting.
wise.
You know what we were really inspired by was Flashpoint.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
Flashpoint came out in '07, and all of us just like lit up. We were all blown away.
yeah,
And there's like the arcs of the punches in that are so nice. You know,
Yeah.
it's so aesthetic. I may have been trying to go for that.
Yeah, Donnie's throwing haymakers in that one. He's throwing
Tons
big.
of hay.
And
It's
so
like
is
very,
Colin
very
Chow, I
few.
guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all throwing haymakers, and it looks so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of intent is what I would say
Yeah,
behind all of that.
yeah.
Uh cool. So then uh Death Grip, and then we get, so then there's like a bit, I would say, at least me personally, my memory, it feels like there's like a bit of a lull. Where it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, it's hard to make movies, especially as an independent person, right? It's hard, you can't just like pump all these out, right? I mean,
Yeah.
uh what do you call it? Vlad, Dennis, and uh was I forget the name of it, but when they
Ken.
made Unlucky Stars.
Yeah, Ken. Yeah.
Ken, yeah, it was Ken,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
It's like
so
that's the
I,
one movie they made, you
yeah, yeah.
know?
So I'll say this too. So I asked Dennis, um, sorry, Johnny, if you're listening, but I actually asked Dennis first if he would be the villain in Death Grip, and he was too busy and he was working on Unlucky at the time because that was like a
Oh,
5 year commitment for him because
yeah,
he kind of like carried that. That was like his Immortal, right? That's actually what
right.
people don't know a lot of the time because we released Immortal in like '08. We started shooting that thing in '03.
Yes, it's
And your first,
pre-contour. Yeah,
yeah, it's pre-contour and it looks pre-contour, sounds pre-contour, everything
yeah,
about it is pre-contour.
yeah,
And like your first feature is going to take you 5 years. And it took so long that like in the middle of it, I shot contour and I was like, I'm finishing this. And we did. I took a year and I finished it. And Death Grip, oh, and like, so then Immortal takes another like 3 years after that, right? And
yeah,
then Death Grip, we did a 2 month shoot, three months of post, and it was done. And I was like, I cannot go a year or it's 5 years. So anyway,
yeah,
that was Dennis's first feature, and last, unfortunately, he's gone now.
yeah. I don't know when I wanted to talk about this or how much you wanted to or not, but
I'm happy to
'cause-
talk about it because it's very real and very
yeah,
relevant.
yeah. Because I don't. So, for the listeners, Dennis Rule, who we talked about. Whenever I've been saying Dennis, there's only one Dennis
There's only one.
in the show. Well, there's Dennis LaFont in Canada. Sorry, shout out
That's
to him.
true.
But no, Dennis Rule was as an original SP member, the final boss in Contour, as we've been saying, and he passed away recently. And I actually don't. So I've reached out to Lee Golden of FC Syndicate and to be like, what happened? Because obviously
Yeah.
he was very young, and I personally don't know anything, and I don't know if his family's just keeping it. I don't want to, intrude on any of that. I know you obviously worked with him. I mean, when I think about Eric, again, like I said, when I think about Eric Jacobus, Dennis was the second name I think of.
Yeah.
You guys fought each
Yeah. It was.
other how many times? Rush Delivery. We're about to get to the rope dopes.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if there's anything you wanted to talk about on that or
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, he was kind of like our lead guitarist in a way, where
yeah.
he is like he kind of felt like a living embodiment of an '80s martial art movie.
Yes.
Very innocent dude. Um, Sweetest guy.
Yeah.
He plays a mean looking dude, but in real life, like he's way sweeter than me in real life. Um, and just a heart of gold. And one of the we were pretty, yeah, we were pretty close. So he had his own kind of team also
Yeah.
with their martial art backgrounds and all that.
The Hapkido
Um,
gentleman.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
and he brought Ray, Troy, Donovan, and
Mhm.
few other people into the mix. Um, and so, when it came to kind of Dennis's role, the way I like to describe it is that when I watch Dennis perform and act, my God, I mean, people don't realize this about like how hard it is to just act. He had a very natural kind of acting style. And I knew that if I just kind of like told him what to do and let him go, and if I just reacted, then we would have some gold. And I was right about that. All I had to do is like tell him what to do. He would go, and I would just react, and we had our
Yeah.
fight. And that's all Contour is. That's all these fights are, right? It's always like
Yeah.
Dennis doing his thing and me just trying to keep up.
Yeah.
And it was a great formula. Um,
Yes.
so anyway,
But
I
yeah.
guess that leads us into rope a dope.
Yes, because so it feels like yeah, as I feel like there's a bit of like a lull on the stunt people.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys just did the big movie, so it was like, okay, you guys did
Yeah.
this, and so now
Yeah. I
Unlucky
mean,
Stars is
yeah.
starting to happen,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh,
Slowly
that's
but surely.
sweet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope in my head I'm like, oh, I hope Eric shows up in this, and you didn't, but it was still everyone. It had like a lot of other
Yeah.
like cool folks in there, and so I was like, okay, cool. Um, and so then as it's kind of, you guys kind of like downsize a little bit and focus on some more smaller projects, which I was saying this. I actually asked Jay this. I was like, "Do you think Robotop's the best thing some people ever did?" And he says yes. We both kind of agreed. Robotop 1 and 2, it came out a year apart from each other. You can't kind of talk about just Robotop 1 comes out, right? And I'm like, hell yeah. It's Eric and Dennis again, all the guys. You're in this blue sweater thing. And my favorite movie is Groundhog Day.
Oh,
I love that movie. It's I tell people it's The Matrix and Groundhog Day. It's 1A,
right.
1B. So, and this is weirdly kind of a combination of
Right.
both.
Right.
Uh, so Robodope is you can find this watch this on YouTube, listeners. It is uh a martial arts Groundhog Day movie. And it's a short film, and it even has this first one even has one of the young masters was there.
Yeah. Yeah. He happened to be in
Lorenz.
town. He
He was
happened
just
to be
in
in
town.
town.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we shot
Yeah.
everything except the end fight one weekend. And then
Yeah.
Lorenz came to town and I was like, dude, you should come and be in Rope-a-Dope. And we just threw him into the end fight at the end there.
Yeah. It's perfect.
It's
Yeah.
actually a pretty easy movie to shoot.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, because, well, Groundhog Day movies are easy because you just pick a location. All you have to worry about is continuity. I made the mistake of having the wardrobe change like every day. That was the thing that slowed us down. So if you ever do a Groundhog Day movie, you can change everything, but don't change your wardrobe. That's what
Just wear
takes
the same
forever.
thing.
You
Yeah.
just wear the
Yeah.
same thing every day until
Yeah.
the end, maybe. And we have the final fight clothing.
Yeah.
Stick to two wardrobe, no more.
Yeah. Yeah. So who edited that one and
I
directed it?
did.
Did you direct and edit
So
it?
I co-directed it with Pete Lee.
P. Lee.
We co-directed
Yes.
that, yeah. And so I've known Pete since '04,
Mm.
'05. He's from Boston. He was on the forum. He was on the Project J forum.
Awesome.
Uh, and he's just like he's got a great like we mesh really well with comedy. We could come up with
Yeah.
gags really quickly.
Yeah.
And Pete's like the Yuen Ping that just throws out a lofty idea, and I'm like the Donnie Yen where I take it and I turn it into something, right?
Yeah.
And I could
Yeah.
construct it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the gags in Rope a Dope were that, like Pete just like throwing out these bombs, these like joke ideas that would just kill. But I don't think anybody knew how to I knew what was in Pete's head because he would say something like, I can't even give an example, but it would be such a strange kind of idea. If people would think like that's kind of weird, I was like, no, it's actually genius. Watch, and I would do it, and they'd be like, oh yeah, that works great,
Yeah.
you know.
Hell
So
yeah.
and
I
then
Go ahead.
Clayton Barber was the
Mm.
producer. And he helped kind of like foster the idea.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, we were kind of like, and we had Dennis there, and we had the other stunt people. We had Drew shooting it again too, who had shot Death Grip. So
Yeah.
like our whole team, like we just had a good
Yeah.
rhythm already going in.
Awesome. Yeah, and I know obviously rest in peace Dennis, but was there plans for a third one where you and him
Yeah,
just team up and fight the
yeah,
10 and everyone else? Damn
that's
it.
exactly
Oh,
what I was gonna do. I know. No,
no.
I had an idea.
Oh.
I was gonna do one where, you know, he goes hunting for the dope because like he wakes
Yeah.
up again the next morning, right?
Right.
After Rope Dope 2, he wakes up in that same place and he
Yeah.
goes in and he sees nothing's changed and he just runs. He just flees and he tries to look for me and he spends 10 years trying to find me, but he can't be knocked out in that time. Right? Like when he
10
runs.
years.
Well,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
because you gotta find me now, right? I'm old.
Right.
I'm older
Yeah.
than that now,
Yeah,
right? This is
these movies are a decade ago now.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
decade old, right? I wrote it up to is
Yeah.
2015. So he
Yeah.
finds me in a tent after 10 years, and I've got all these like quantum physics equations up. Like I figured out the mechanism, right? And
Uh-huh.
I figured it out so that if we knock each other out again right now, we can reset right here, right now. And so, but the issue is that if we knock out anybody else, we also reset.
Oh. Wait,
Yeah.
anybody else? Like any of
Yeah,
the just
and
like stunt guys or
not only that, we can't be knocked out and reset anymore. That's the issue.
Oh. So you guys
Yeah,
have to not get knocked out.
correct. We have to not get knocked out and don't knock anybody else out.
And the way, but if you guys get knocked out at the same time, then it works.
No, like it's just we just like set a save point,
Got
right? Like
you.
if we
Yeah,
if
yeah.
we
You
knock
set a
each other
save.
out, we can set a save point. That's
You
kind of the
save
idea. Yeah.
scrum. Yeah,
And we,
save scrum
maybe
it.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
like we can do that again later, like we get far
yeah.
enough like is here good? Yeah, here's good. Wow, we knock out and then we can reset there. We set a save point, right? We could keep doing
Right,
that. But if we
right,
knock anybody else down out, then we reset. And if
right.
they knock us out, we're probably gonna die.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And we get separated, right? And that was the whole thing. And Ken captures the mayor, it's Boots Riley, who's like directed a ton of movies since then, by the way.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
Man,
Yeah.
I got the scoop for what Rope-a-Dope 3. I'm so
Yeah.
hyped
Yeah.
and
Well, there it
sad,
is.
obviously. Damn.
There it is.
That's because it would have been such a fun like romance after
Yeah.
you guys fought for two whole movies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a romance at the end of the second one. It's like after
Right.
when you stick the hand down, he grabs it, and then it's
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
really sweet. I mean, it's still. I mean, obviously it's sad, but it still is like kind of perfect. The way you ended the second one is still kind of because we could kind of imagine, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's yeah, those movies are fantastic. Oh, I had a real quick aside question I was going to ask. Is Yuen Ping the best fight choreographer of all time, in your opinion?
Yunmo Ping,
Yuen Ping, just
the
straight fight
best?
choreographer. Yeah,
No.
top three
Maybe. I
is
think
Sam was your number one, right?
Sam was probably number one.
He's your number
Like,
one. Yeah,
because of Prodigal Son. I think
just
Prodigal
Prodigal
Son.
Son, or just
I
no?
like
That's what puts it over the top.
everything else
Right.
also, right? But I think Prodigal Son is just like tip top. Okay, so
Yes.
if you've ever tried to choreograph Wing Chun,
Mm.
it's a nightmare.
Mm.
It's a
To
nightmare.
make it look good
Make it look good.
and keep
It's
the
such
sequences varied
and
and
make it interesting, make it fun
yeah,
uh and safe. Like how do
right.
you it's like impossible. You should try it and see if you
Yeah,
can make a great
I
Wing
would
Chun
love
movie.
to. Yeah, that
Sammo
sounds
did it
sick.
twice. He did it with Prodigal Son and he did it with It Man. So to me, to me, just
Did
saying,
he do the Ip Man sequels as well? He did.
no, Yumo Ping did 3 and 4.
Oh, those
Just
aren't
saying,
as good.
just saying. Now, I'll say
Those
this.
aren't as good. I didn't even remember. Okay,
I'll just
yeah.
say this. So Yumo
Oh,
Ping has like this beautiful era from like 1979
yeah.
till really till
Phil
like
Fist of
well
Legend
Jet Li,
is
Fist
in
of
the
Legend, really,
yeah.
right?
That's his best one, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
I think so.
So
And so, when you ask for top three, it's like maybe he's in there because of that stuff. But I'm very biased towards that kind of action style. But
I mean,
you know,
same. But yeah.
Yumo Ping's entire thing was like trying to find a headliner, like as an
Right.
act, right? So
Yes.
at first, who was it? It was his younger brother, Yoon Yut Chor, right? He
Right.
was doing those goofy like
Yeah.
it's like kung fu like mysticism spoofs, right? They're
Yeah.
goofy and they're great. And actually the action in those is fantastic. So like Shaolin Drunkard, Taoism Drunkard, and Drunken Tai Chi was when he brought on Donnie Yen, right?
Yes.
Donnie Yen
Yeah.
was so now Donnie Yen was actually later. He was also, he did Drunken Master, Snake and Eagle Shadow, that was Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan took
Yeah.
off, right?
Yep.
Then he brings on Donnie Yen. And he also did a Yuen Ping movie. Excuse me, a Yuen Bu movie. He did Dreadnought.
Right. He does
Yuen
Dreadnought. Okay.
he
Yeah.
does
Right.
Dreadnought, right?
Yeah.
Then he does Drunken Tai Chi, and he's got Donnie for a few years, right?
For a
You
few
can kind of
years.
tell like he
Early
wants Donnie
Donnie.
to be early Donnie.
Yeah.
He kind of wants
Yeah.
Donnie to be his boy, right? And all the way from there till Tiger Cage 2, um, he's sort of like being Donnie's mentor slash his director slash choreographer.
Yeah.
And I think Donnie outgrows him a little bit, and Yuen Ping goes to Jet Li, and Jet Li's his new headliner.
Do you think Jet Li had a better like what's the word? Temperament for being what you and Wu Ping wanted? Because Donnie's kind of like a
Yeah, I've
personality, to say
I've
the
thought
least.
about that. So I think Jet Li is from Beijing.
Yeah.
Yuen Ping's dad was from Beijing.
Right.
So Yun Xiu Tian, he was from Beijing.
Yeah.
He moved his family south to Guangzhou in like near the end of the I think it was like almost at the Republic, like near the beginning of the PRC, and established kind of like a theater troupe with Yuen Ping and all of his brothers. And so Yimou Ping
Mhm.
and all of his brothers were brought up as these Beijing opera kind of, headliners as a troupe. They were their own troupe. That was their own group.
Yeah.
And Jackie Chan went to a different school and he was over there. So Yimou Ping is like royalty. You have to
Yeah.
understand that
Yeah.
in the action film world, he's royalty because he's a star maker,
Yes.
right? Because he comes from Yu Tsu Tian. Yu Tsu Tian was also a star maker, and he
He's like
was beggar. So
Scorsese-ish.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like a Spielberg, right? Like Spielberg,
Spielberg is another good
he directs and
one.
he also brings up stars.
Yeah.
Um, and Samo is kind of trying to do that.
Yeah.
Now, Samo has a different situation, right? Like Samo and Jackie and Yumbu and the Seven Fortunes,
Yeah.
they are in a Beijing opera school in the South also. So it's very
Hmm.
similar kind of style that Yummo Ping was doing. So they all kind of spoke that same theatrical language. But
Hmm.
Samo was trying to be a headline, he's trying to raise stars too. And he would also perform. That's like the insanity of Samo. Is that
Yes.
he's this big fat dude who can
Yeah.
perform and direct and bring up stars
Yep.
and
True.
produce.
Yep.
And
And he did it
so
for 4 decades because Ip Man.
until today,
I mean, he's still doing it. He's still doing it.
right? That's what blows my mind
Yeah.
about that guy.
Yeah. And when he's younger, he did comedy, a bunch of comedies, which were like, look how this fat guy can
Yeah.
also beat your ass. And
Yeah,
then he
it's
got
genius.
older, and now
Yeah.
he's not triad, Yakuza boss.
Yeah, he's a Daigo. He's a Daigo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
and SPL and
Oh yeah, yeah, in
those
SPL, yeah.
Wu Jing movies he did. Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that because the thing is, Yuen Ping then went to do The Matrix and like Kill Bill in Hollywood, which were at the time
Yeah.
really big deals.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, to this
People
day,
don't know.
like
Yeah,
the way I've described Matrix is that is American tech wuxia,
yes, 100%. Yeah,
right? That's like
yeah,
tech society wuxia. That's our
yeah,
wuxia.
yeah.
So, you know, credit where credit's due. Yimou Ping, he made the
Still one of
Matrix.
those.
Like,
Yes.
big deal.
And then
Big
when
deal.
Yuen
I'm
Ping's
not
not on The
saying that Yimou Ping
Matrix,
is like
yeah,
you. I'm not saying Yimou Ping is like low on the totem pole. I'm just saying that Sammo is slightly above him. That's all I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah, for sure. No, and it's also because like when Yuen Ping didn't do like the fourth Matrix they did, you can
Uh,
really tell.
oh, yeah. Sorry.
It's like, what is this? Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like Kill Bill's like another like especially like a lot of my friends in my generation, like
Yeah.
millennials who like love Tarantino and like it's like Kill Bill's like a
Yeah.
big favorite among my
Yeah.
ilk.
Yeah.
I love asking questions about this to people who also so where would you rank Jackie if we're talking straight choreography?
Just choreography. I mean, but
He
like,
gets the police stories, right? That's
yeah.
him.
So,
And
I mean, I love like Angry Ranger, which is kind of his action style with other people,
that's his
with his
team, right?
action team. Yeah.
So he gets credit
Yeah.
for that. Angry Ranger's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple but awesome.
Yeah. Jackie is like a different, I like to just compare him and Samo because they are so opposite. Because
But there's yeah. Yeah, yeah.
because whenever Jackie was brought into a Samo movie, Jackie's always willing to fight. He's willing to go toe to toe with the guy. But if Jackie's not in a Samo movie, that doesn't happen. Right? That's not the goal of the scene. With
That's
Samo, the goal of the scene
true.
is to beat the guy, but with Jackie, the goal of the scene is something else, and this guy's in the way.
Right. That's
And
so true.
he'd rather not have to deal with it. He'd rather find a clever way. He usually finds some clever way not to fight the guy.
Right.
And like
Yeah.
that's more like me.
I didn't think about that.
I think
Yeah.
in terms of my own choreography, I tend to do that. But in terms of just like marveling at somebody, I marvel at Samo the most.
Yeah.
I just
Especially
can't.
his handwork is second to none.
Yeah, and
It
the way he
just
could frame, like the way that he could frame action, he just knew how to
yeah.
do it. He knew how to put someone in the middle. He knew what shapes to have them make in the center.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just,
The the
yeah,
exchange between him and Lau Kar Wang and My Lucky Stars,
yeah,
it's what is it like 10 seconds or
yeah,
whatever,
it's
but
great.
it's
Yeah,
is Lau Kar Wang like the most underrated guy?
yeah, he is.
I
He
wish he was
is.
in more things. His hand
He
stuff is
is.
so
He
beautiful. He
is.
has like the most beautiful handwork of a guy who
No, he's
wasn't like a
great.
top headliner guy. I'm like, I can
Yeah,
barely watch this guy ever do his punches, but his punches and hand shapes are so cool.
yeah.
Um,
You watch him in Knockabout, right? That was when
yeah,
I think that's when I first
yeah,
saw him. He was the villain,
yeah. It's the one
and
where he gets to actually do stuff.
he's like a really powerful, just Southern kind of kung fu guy. You can't really
Yeah.
pin a style on him. Not like his older brother, Lau Leong, who I love, but Lau Wing, like I think that there's a reason he and Sammo meshed because
Yeah.
Lau Wing's a second brother. So I think he and Sammo had like a more coherent relationship.
Yeah.
Sammo was kind of the Daigo.
Hmm.
Lau Wing is just like a marvel.
Yeah.
Um, even even something as old as Dirty Tiger Crazy Frog, 1978. Like that
Yeah.
movie is so good.
Yeah.
And the action is so good. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's so underrated. Nobody watches that movie, but it's one
I
of my
know.
favorites.
That's we gotta do that one on the show too at some point. Okay. So modern Eric Jacobus film stuff. Clayton Barber, Blindsided. Um, both the first short, then the longer one, and then the game, right? Where you play. It's kind of funny now because I always make this joke about Donnie about how they keep making him blind in every Hollywood movie. He's too powerful. He's got to be blind. But you
Right.
play a blind martial artist. And can you tell me a little bit about the Blindsided project and how that came to?
Yeah, so Clayton and I have been talking for a while about doing some kind of American baby cart or an American drunken master or an American Zatoichi.
Satuichi, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And really like Blind Fury too, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And eventually we came upon the idea of, just like a simple story about a blind man who likes making apple pie and he goes to the store to get ingredients and walks into a bad situation.
Yeah.
He tries to save the day and he ends up with the wrong people. And um I mean it was really simple as that. We didn't have much time. So we released the short. It was a 12-minute short at first. It was just like the first 12 minutes. We released that. Um we never planned on adding more to it. We had
Hmm.
more time with that one. We had 4 days to shoot that whole 12-minute movie. And that fight is like long because we had a lot of time.
Yeah.
We could really kind of exploit all that. But then we added 30 minutes and called it Blindsided the Game. We added the poker scene, a bunch of fights in the warehouse, a bunch of characters, a higher boss, right?
Yep.
And kind of tacked it onto the end. And, you know, we only had 1 week to shoot that 30 minutes or maybe
Yeah.
6 days. I think we did it in 6 days.
Hmm.
And it was like an insanely difficult shoot. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever done.
Word.
Um, no sleep, very little sleep.
Oof.
Figuring out things just on the fly. That fight, I fight David No in there. We had 2 hours. I fight Luke. I think we had three an hour. I have nothing. We had no time to do any of it. The
Hmm.
fight on the rooftop, we had like an hour.
Hmm.
Um, and that's just the reality sometimes. You just don't have time to do stuff. And that
Hmm.
poker scene was like one of my favorite moments because I wrote that scene out and I sort of like went to different I one of my friends was a professional poker player back in the day and I just like sent it to him. I was like, does this make sense? Like does this play kind of talked through the whole scene with him. And he said, "Yeah, I think that'll work. I think you got something there." And
Hmm.
so when it came to actually shooting that poker scene is like 5 minutes long, I think.
Hmm.
And there are all these like little things that we're trying to convey, right? Like the sound of he's, the dealer's cheating. Walter, the main character, can hear him cheating by he's trying to keep the ace so he can pass the ace off to his boss at a certain point.
Yeah.
But Walter can hear it, and at a certain point he cuts the card, right? All these tiny
Hmm.
little things that we were trying to play.
Yeah.
And in order to do a poker scene, like you really have to have like the cards stacked. It's choreographed. The whole thing's like
Hmm.
a fight scene. The
Yeah.
whole deck of cards has to be stacked. And there happened to be this like professional card trick guy there on set that day. And I gave him the list of cards for every shot. And I was like, set that up right away because we had no time. And Clayton was worried. He's like, we gotta cut it short. Just cut it down to like cut it down to nothing. Cut it down to a minute. I was
Yeah.
like, no, we can do this. It's a fight scene. I'm gonna make it work. And we made that thing work, man. And it was like
Yeah.
smooth. We never made a mistake.
Yeah. It worked out. Yeah.
Worked out. Yeah.
That's
But it was a
awesome.
hard shoot. It was super hard.
Mm, yeah. Especially because you're like at this point, you're getting older. and
Yeah. Yeah.
this like physically I'm you know it's one thing, but it's also just like life
Yeah.
responsibilities and stuff.
Yeah.
But so this brings me to my another thing, which is you were had like cameos and stuff, and there's a bunch of incompleted projects, which always happens, when you're an indie filmmaker. But off the top of my head and my notes here, we got so I meant to bring up the Micah Beatdown Boogie, which had it was gonna be you,
Everybody.
Manny, Sean. Yeah, you were fighting Manny and Sean in the
Yeah.
previs or whatever. But
Yeah.
so what was that supposed to be? It was supposed to be like a fun comedic because you're playing Law from Contour, right? It's in the
Yeah.
same universe,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just very goofy aesthetic and like like almost like comic book
Yeah.
style.
Yeah. It was kind of like a rat race to recover some kind of artifact. I can't remember the story.
Right. But you had some really cool like action set pieces in the thing from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was just too ambitious, too many. Again, like we're all getting to be, when was that? I think we're all about 30, getting to be about 30 years
bro.
old at the time.
Yeah,
People are getting married, people are having kids, they have full-time jobs. It's much
right.
harder to do that stuff. I mean, you were talking
Yeah,
about that lull between, oh well, basically between Contour and Rope-a-Dope in a sense, aside from
in a
Desperate. But
sense.
like there was
Yeah,
just there's like everybody kind of like went off and had to do their thing.
they had to do the thing. Yeah. I mean that's why Contour was the college experience, right? And then that's
Yeah.
after
Yep.
that, yeah. So, um, there was also this is a personal funny thing. I harassed Eric about this bar fight that him and Dennis had for no shit, like over 10 years. I mean, we have the receipts.
Yeah.
I can look back at the emails, but I emailed Eric about this. He first posted a clip from the short that you and Dennis were going to be in,
Right.
and I think all the other guys in the it was
Yeah.
in the bar fight at least. I don't remember the name of the movie. It's like for Verizon or
For
something.
Forrison, I think.
Forrison,
Yeah.
and it's an incredible trailer. Not just because of the cool stuff that you in the bar fight, but it just looks really cool in general. And you posted that, and then like for the next decade, I was like, "Hey, are we ever gonna get that full bar fight or whatever?" And then you finally like sent me the clips that we had for it. But so what was yeah, what happened with that? It just was like another project that just
hmm
somebody wanted to. Was it who was it involved with?
Matt Somerville was the director.
Oh, you'd worked with him
Yeah.
before and stuff, right? Or
Did we
or
work with him?
after?
No, sorry, it wasn't Matt. No, that's Matthew Sumner from Dogs of Chinatown.
Sorry, I'm thinking of Matthew.
Matt,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Matt Somerville was a director in the South Bay. Yeah,
Okay,
he wanted to do a feature film. It was kind of like I think it
it's
was
we.
supposed to be kind of a lock stock kind of
It looked a little
feature.
bit like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just the funding never came through, and everything
Yeah.
just happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Word. Um. So and then this
I'm
is
looking
going
at
really.
the folder of video clips from that movie right now.
You and the guys put that bar sequence is like looked really sick. It's just really
Yeah, it was
Well, so
fun.
you had a cameo in what this uh Blood Brothers. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like this really old movie. It's like you have a beard at the time and you fight one of the main two leads. It's like these two it's like this let me see if I can find this.
I'm blanking. Blood Brothers? Don't remember it.
Blood Brothers movie.
Bound by Blood?
Bound by Blood. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
Bound by Blood.
Yeah.
You basically are just there to fight one of the leads
Yeah, I
in that.
choreographed that movie with
Yeah.
Dennis, and Dennis is in it.
Yeah.
Um that was fun. I was in Indiana. I was back, like, we took a break during Contour in March '05 to go and do that movie. Did that for a
We
month.
you just
Yeah.
hired to choreograph it basically and then
Yeah, basically, and I just have that cameo at the end, yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Did yeah, that's interesting. Did yeah, I was gonna say um did you ever like work with anybody from there again or it was just you
No,
kind of just like it was just
it was a
like a
flash in the pan
mercenary.
kind of thing, you
Yeah,
know?
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I stay in touch with some of those guys. They're
Yeah.
good people. I was out
Word.
in Indiana. Yeah.
All right, cool.
But
Um and then you were Waluigi in Mario Warfare, which is awesome. If you guys gotta check out Mario Warfare on YouTube if you haven't. This is another one by
no,
um
Micah. Micah
Micah
Moore.
again, Micah Moore. Uh, so of all the incomplete projects, if there's one you could choose to complete, what would you
The ones that
pick?
we started but never finished, you mean?
Ones that you started and never finished, and maybe you want to pick one that you never got to start.
Yeah, Rope It
Maybe.
Up 3.
Okay, yeah, that's what that's, I think I was
Yeah.
like, I think it probably was the
Yeah.
odds-on favorite. So of the ones that you were able to start, what do you think?
Um, hmm. We were starting to shoot a Contour sequel, but I just
Really?
couldn't like find my bearings on it. I couldn't just I don't know, I didn't we just didn't have the same cohesion as
Hmm.
Contour. It was really hard to pull that together.
Different
I made a
stages of your guys'
script.
lives, too.
Yeah, and I made a script. It was okay. I don't know. It just didn't quite have the thing about Contour was like I wrote that script in 2 weeks and it was just easy. It was
Yeah,
so obvious how we were going to do this thing.
yeah,
And I felt like ever since then, I just tried so hard to like hit all the like marketing points, like get this, get a lead, get this, do these things rather than just like making the thing I want to make.
right,
And so I don't know. I don't know which one was the issue. I don't know if it was me not being able to put together a good project or if it was just everybody kind of going their own ways. Might have been both.
right. But so if it could come easy to you, if you were like tomorrow you like wake up, you're like, oh, I got it, Contour 2, and you're
Yeah.
able to get everybody together, that would be the thing
Yeah, I mean
you'd love to.
I was writing a movie called Detour and I was gonna
Yeah,
have it was gonna be me and Dennis. We were gonna
yeah,
co-star in it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we were stoked.
Hmm.
And then he passed. And
Yeah.
so
It was gonna
I
be
don't
the
know,
same
like
Law character, and
it would be the same Law character. Yeah, he's got a daughter now. Um,
uh,
yeah, he's got a daughter and she doesn't know that he's a criminal. And the whole gag
yeah,
of the movie was that he uses this like Uber type of app, which like pairs him with like, drug deals and theft and
yeah.
like, it's like it's called Heister.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, so this guy's got like a tour as a front in Las Vegas, where I live now. He's got this tour as a front, and every now and then he'll get a notification on his Heister app, and he'll just detour and go and do that and like
I
make
see.
some cash. All the tourists will be pissed off, but he'll pay all their money back. There's a money back guarantee.
Right,
And he just continues on that way, and he's just trying to provide for his daughter, right?
right.
And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
what happens is that I'm happy to tell you the synopsis. Maybe someone will
Yeah.
hear it and
Hell yeah.
they'll want to take it.
Hell yeah.
Uh, so he loves his daughter. She's this kind of like metal sculpturist. She's very punk rock, She's, uh, she's all over the place, but she's fun. And he just wants to support her and he wants to help her make her metal sculpture into a business someday. He's like, I could bring people there. Let's make this happen, right?
Hmm.
And then, but he never married her mom, right? They kind of, they did their thing. And then they've
Yeah.
always had this like standoffish relationship, but he's always been close with his daughter and he's been in her life ever since day one. Like he knew he needed to be in her life. Her stepdad at her graduation party gives her pays for her entire school tuition to go over to California and go to college. And Law
Oh,
can't go to California for certain legal reasons.
yeah. Of
And
course.
so Law says, how about this? How about if I match that? If I match this like $100,000 that your stupid stepdad is giving you, if I match that, you stay here and you make your metal sculpture business. And he announces
Wow.
that at the graduation party. And
Yeah.
the stepdad's like, yeah, what, like with your tour, right? Like your tour Law, like, everybody knows this guy's a criminal, except his daughter doesn't want to believe it, right? So now he's got
Right.
to do this huge heist to make 100 grand. And he finds the heist of the century. And she
Mm,
finds out that he's actually a criminal.
right.
And she wants to now make sure that he does things the right way. And she forces him to return this thing. And so she goes on the tour with him and they really bond and they really get to know who each other are as a result.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah,
Sounds.
so that was kind
Yeah.
of the mission of that. So
Yeah.
it's there. It can be done. Dennis is going to be the co-star, and I think that he would have wanted us to do it anyway, even
Yeah.
if he wasn't involved. I think he would want to see all of his. Because I was going to bring as much of the old team back as I could to get them all in. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
on the docket.
If I get rich tomorrow, My vanity
Hit me up.
project. We're making Contour 2. That's awesome. Yeah, if you're listening out there, Hollywood, Netflix,
Yeah, if you
give
got
this
some
man a
money you
bunch of
want to throw,
money
yeah, if you
to
want to
make
throw some
Contour
money at me,
2.
I'll make you a fun action movie.
Yeah. Um, we gotta talk a little bit about your motion capture work. Because I talked to Jay a little bit
Sure.
about it. And well, how do we put this? You are Kratos.
Well, I'm the combat part of Kratos.
That's the
I'm
most
not the
fun
voice.
part.
I'm not the voice. I'm not the acting. I'm not
That's
the,
true. That's
the
fair.
baritone
But
deep voice.
when people play this game and they do the part that they came here to do,
Right.
which is beat people's asses as a
Right.
god of war,
Mostly you're me.
that's you. That's you doing
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Mostly you're playing me.
That's
Yeah.
the cool part. It's like what's his name? Guy de Silva is Black Panther.
Right.
Um. So yeah, tell me, how'd you get into this? And also, I'm curious how like because I heard Jay's side of it. Like, what got you to roping Jay into it as well? Out of curiosity.
Well, they found me on YouTube. They found me
Sick.
because I did this thing called Tekken in real life where I just copied Tekken and Street Fighter moves in my garage. I play it side by side.
Awesome
And
series. Yeah.
thank you. But what I didn't realize is that it's actually a skill to be able to mimic the fighting poses and kind of mimic the same shapes and the same everything of
Yeah.
these fighting games.
Yeah.
And when they called me in, they called me up and they're like, "Can you come and audition for a certain game?" They didn't tell me what it was at the time.
Hmm.
And then they told me that you know how to move like a video game character, and that's really interesting. And so um, I went in there, aced the audition, because frankly, gameplay motion capture is tough, but a single day on like Rope-a-Dope or Rope-a-Dope 2 is like way harder.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
like that is blood, sweat, and tears like no other. Like Scott talks about this, right? Like whenever
Yeah.
you're doing these movies, it's 12-hour days at least, and it's constant. You're constantly pumping blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, right?
Yeah.
And so 8 hours in the air-conditioned motion capture stage with pads is pretty easy. And so I got the job, and then I started learning how to move like Kratos, which was its own kind of school.
You have a video about this on your movement series where
Yeah,
you technically all the fighting and movement you've done, you were never moving like a guy like Kratos,
no,
which is this big telegraphed powerful movements as opposed to like the precision tempo
yeah,
Hong Kong style or yeah,
yeah,
or all of the other martial arts styles you've done. But yeah.
yeah. And so the guys that taught me how to move like that, like Kratos, they were animators,
Yeah.
and they're the best in the world at what
Hmm.
they do. And they were very patient with me. It took me probably a year to kind of pick up the style. Um, and uh, and in that time, then I started picking up more motion capture jobs, like on Demon Souls and Mortal Kombat 11,
Yeah, yeah.
and things kind of picked up from there. Um,
Yeah. What how'd you what gave you the idea to bring Jay in?
I think I brought Jay in on Ragnarok.
It was Ragnarok, yeah.
Yeah,
He was
and
over the moon.
I can't even remember the scene. Does he
I think so.
remember?
He said he was reacting to so like you're Kratos. He would do a lot of the reaction stuff to you because
Oh
you guys
yeah,
had
so
some
it's his
chemistry
finishers. Yeah,
from the gun. Yeah, a lot of
yeah,
finishers and stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Um.
So we were doing finishers. I mean, like the thing about Jay is he speaks the language, and
Yeah.
I can, if I'm like leading, if I'm leading and he's just reacting, then it's pretty easy for me to kind of tool his performance for the animators so that they like it.
Right.
Adding more viscerality, kind of like slowing down the head movement, and things like that that are kind of, like the trademark of American action, which I've
Yes.
relearned now.
Right.
Um, and there's definitely something to learn there, and um, there's always something to learn.
Yeah.
But it made sense because I've fought with Jay many times, and I've noticed that like anytime Jay has brought me in to do a project with him or whatever it is, I move as fast as I want, and he just like keeps up. He just has this ability to kind of match. And I think that that's his wrestling experience.
Yes.
He's just
Yeah.
able to like match anything,
Yeah.
which is crazy. And so that's why it made sense to bring him in to, do these finishers.
Yeah. I asked Jay this, but I was going to ask you because you know a little bit about pro wrestling, maybe working with Jay, but probably not a ton. Did he have to explain any wrestling stuff to you? Like, 'cause
Not as much as
he
he
gives.
does, man. I don't know anything compared to him.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Did he have to explain to you like what a suplex? Well, the thing is, the German suplex. It's like a thing in the SP. Like a lot of the guys would do it as a finish. So, but you basically understood. Like he's just gonna hook your arm and take you over and all that. You guys,
Yeah,
it's the language is similar enough, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Um, I'm gonna hit you with a bunch of my. I hit Jay with these and Leroy my quick hitter
Okay.
questions that I love to do. So, what do you think, Eric? What do you think is the best movie you've ever made?
Best
Feature,
movie I ever
short,
made.
yeah, feature,
Uh,
short, whatever.
my favorite's Rope It Up too.
Open up two. Yeah, I can't argue. It's like rope it out, but this time you guys fight with sticks in the end
Yeah, and
and
I
weapons.
when I
Yeah.
wrote that script, nobody understood it when we were shooting it. And I was
Okay.
just like, trust me, it'll work. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if it would work. It took a long time to edit that movie, but it was worth it.
Yeah. No, it's terrific. Yeah. I can't disagree with that. I think even me and Jay said the same thing. Um, so an actor or screen fighter. Let's do this way. Someone you'd like to fight, a screen fighter you'd most like to fight on screen, dead or alive, could be anybody. Um,
Oh, Dead or Alive?
Yeah. And it
Oh
could be like them in their
man.
prime. Like you could pick like Jay picked Jackie in his prime. You could pick Samo in
Um,
his prime.
oh man, yeah, Jackie in his prime would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
Jackie in his prime.
Yeah, I'd probably take that.
Yeah. Yeah. Police story Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um uh what are your so again I did this with Jay. So what do you think top five favorite fight scenes that you weren't a part of? And then we could do your five favorite ones that you were a part of. But let's do the ones you weren't a part of first.
Weren't a part of like anywhere in the world.
Like
Like,
any top five fight scenes in movies you ever watched,
okay.
and you've probably watched more than 99% of people out there.
Oh
You've watched more
man.
than me, and I've watched more than a
I
lot of
mean,
people.
I'll try to like stick to stuff that people are gonna know.
Sure.
Um,
Throw one in there that's just for the that nobody will know. Throw
without
like
nobody will know.
one Panarita Cry never got released movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, um, okay. So I think Flashpoint finale would be one. I mean, it's
Same.
heavily biased towards, in terms of things that changed my life, right?
Right.
Here are the fight scenes that changed my life.
Yeah.
Drunken Master 2 finale,
Same.
uh, Return of the Pink Panther fight when Kato comes out of the refrigerator.
That's awesome. That's a great one. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's truth.
Yeah.
Um, Flashpoint,
Same. Yeah.
Ong Bak, probably that like nightclub fight, like one of
The
my
one where he
top
fights the
five.
three guys in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just as a
Yeah.
character exposition.
Yeah. Yeah. This is how you introduce a hero to a
Yeah,
to the situation he's in. Of yeah.
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 And I think like if I were to put a really weird one in there, it would be License to Steal.
I love it. Yeah.
Like there's a fight in the parking lot in that
Yes.
movie,
Yes.
and
So
when you
good.
watch it, there's like a rhythm to it.
Agreed.
It's like there's just okay, you look at the credits, there's like 10 choreographers, and there's this crew of guys that would hang with like Samo, Yun Bu, Meng Hoi,
Yeah.
Lam Ching Ying, and Billy Chan. Now, Billy Chan is somebody who I think people don't really think much about this guy, but
Yeah.
you have to realize that in 1981, I believe, Billy Chan did this movie called Phantom Killer, I think.
Okay.
And Phantom Killer's action, he directed the action in it. The action in it is not all that spectacular, but there's a way of like camera shooting in it. It's very unique. That like the shots are shorter, the angles are more interesting, there's more impact, there's a rhythm to the action. And I'm
Yeah.
convinced that after that, Samo brought Billy Chan onto his team, and that's where that rhythm was adopted from.
Mm.
So the rhythm that we love about, so much of like that rhythm that we love with Samo's style, I think it comes
Yeah.
from Billy Chan.
Hmm.
And you can see it in License to Steal. I think he was just that like additional spice that just
Yeah.
like,
No, that License to Steal hit like kind of a hidden gem, especially considering the names that are in it.
yeah,
It's weird to call it hidden. It's got Yoon
yeah,
Bu, Billy Chow,
yeah,
Joyce Kozenzi, who was married to Samo. She was
yeah.
kind of a big star at the time, and some other people. But that parking lot fight specifically, because Colin Chow fights a guy whose name I don't remember, but he's like this kicking guy,
Choi
and
Jing Yat. He's a Korean dude. Yeah.
he's Korean. Yeah, it makes sense because he's like I like rarely see him anywhere else, if ever. I don't remember seeing him
He's
anywhere else
fantastic.
actually, but
Yeah.
he's so good, and him and he's like all these kicks, and Colin Chow, he's missing him by so little. Like their
Yeah.
rhythm is
Yeah.
so on
Yeah.
point,
It's
and then
really good.
Yoon Bu and Billy Chow just like steal the fucking show. It's
Yeah.
crazy. They just have crazy chemistry.
Yeah.
So that's a great one. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great. That's a great. What Panda Reads a Cry for the listeners. That was Tony Jaa's mentor and basically the Sammo Hung of Thailand is what I would call
Yeah.
him. But he's like
Yeah.
he was a legend. Oh, so and then top five fight scenes that you were a part of. We've
That I
definitely
was
discussed
a
some of
part of.
them. Yeah,
Okay. Rope it up 2 versus Dennis
yeah,
and the boxing ring.
yeah,
The knife fight with Alvin.
for sure.
Uh, Ed's fight in Contour. I'm just gonna put that at the top because that's the one that gets applause. And that's just like the ultimate sugar rush of like
Yeah,
like fight choreo safari. Like we start off with like there are these I'm wearing a mask, and at one point I was like, what if I do Mantis against you, Ed? And it's like, okay, I'll do Eagle Claw. We didn't care. It
yeah,
didn't matter. A dude
yeah,
doing Mantis in a garage in a warehouse makes no sense. And it was,
yeah.
beautiful.
They ruled.
Um, so I put that one up there. Um, the I think that van fight and undercut is super fun.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a straight up a Jackie Chan group fight.
yeah,
Like it's a straight up
yeah,
like the comedic beats you guys hit. Like your character's kind of just. I mean, he's a little more stoic than Jackie usually is, I guess. But he's like, but it's yeah, it's straight up a Jackie Chan group fight. That
yeah,
Van undercut fight, it's so good.
yeah. Um, we did a ton of fights for Mortal Kombat 1, the new one.
Oh,
So Dennis and I did Sub versus Scorp. Um,
mm,
so that's up there. But I think like in terms of like for video games, I think Thor versus Kratos and God of War Ragnarok. That was me and Robert Dill. That's up there.
yeah, that
That's up there.
people are blown away by that sequence. People really
Yeah.
love that.
And
That's
that's just,
people.
I mean, our role was pretty simple. It was like throw a
Yeah,
punch. It was really simple, right? But like it's the
right.
animators that really kind of stitch all that together. And it's just, I'm always blown away by the God of War team. They have these insane ideas where
Yeah,
they'll just kind of explode my preconceived notions of what's possible in an action scene.
right.
Like,
Yeah,
okay, now you guys are skydiving together, but you're doing choreo while you're skydiving.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
how? How are we gonna?
yeah,
You gonna animate that? And they're like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. We'll make it
yeah,
work.
yeah. It's crazy when Thor's just beating Kratos' ass in the air. He's really mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm gonna throw in because you said this. I've listened to the Contour DVD commentary. You were a big fan of your performance against Ed on the roof during
Oh
his
yeah.
dream fight, and I agree. I think that stuff has some really excellent like shapes and like I mean you have a little first it's hand to hand, then you have like a little knife and just like a little bit of the shapes and stuff there. I really love that stuff.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
that's a fun one.
yeah. And then I also gotta throw in the group fight from Robodope 1 because uh I mean, is there might not that might be some of the best group fighting we've seen in modern action.
Yeah, that one
Just
that
your
one's
head
good too.
movement,
That
your
one too.
boxing head movement is so slick
Oh,
when you're
thanks.
fighting all those guys. It's really cool.
Thanks. My head movement is like way too big for boxing. Uh,
It looks sick though in the screen.
thanks. Thanks. I can never fake boxing. It's like really
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
In fact, we were trying to do it in God of War Ragnarok. So there's a part where Kratos is fighting was it Heimdall? Who's the one who
Yeah.
can tell the future?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and so in that Robert Dill played Kratos, and I played Heimdall because I'm smaller. So Heimdall's smaller than,
Oh, okay.
and 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 we were trying to figure out how to slip punches like in a real way. This is something that Kensuke Sonomura has mastered,
Mm,
but we have not.
mm,
And so we were like, okay, we were trying to just like rethink how to dodge just enough so that it looks like an afterthought. You know what I mean? So it doesn't look like a big, so it doesn't look too big, right? It
too
looks a little
big.
bit
Yeah,
more, yeah.
yeah,
And we tried. I don't know if we succeeded, but that's what we were
yeah,
thinking of when we were doing it. But boxing
yeah,
head movement's really hard
yeah, yeah. It's really hard.
because it's actually like not very cinematic.
No, but that's the thing you have to marry, right? So
I know.
that's
And then the thing
yeah,
is, when you get it right, it's like totally cinematic.
yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
No, Heimdall, like, I mean, it's your physical performance, but Heimdall is such. He looks effortlessly cool because he's just dodging punches,
Right.
but you also don't think he's cool because you hate him
Right.
because he's such
Yeah.
a prick. But because
Yeah.
like, oh, he's dodging these punches in such a cool, nonchalant way.
Cool.
um, uh, cool. So then my last big question here, which is, oh, this is a hard one for all the filmmakers. If you could take 5 movies, you're on a deserted island. You can only bring 5 movies. What's your big five? 5 films.
Hmm. Well, I think the films that okay, Return of the Pink Panther, that's number one.
Okay.
Best comedy of all time.
Yeah, it's a
Just
really
gonna
good.
say.
It's a
Return
great
of the
one.
Pink Panther, best comedy of all time.
Yeah.
People who've never heard of this movie, I'll put it on and they'll just laugh their balls off the entire movie.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I know there's a Jackie Chan movie in there. It's probably gonna be Drunken Master 2.
It's like that Police Story, right?
Yeah,
Those
it's
are
one of
the
those. It's one of
yeah.
those. Yeah.
Jay put
Um,
both. Jay put both. I
yeah.
also would take both if it was me, but it's
Um,
hard though. 5 is rough.
I put Terminator 2 in there. Yeah, or
Ooh,
or Total
yeah.
Recall, like one of those two, man. Like I think
Mm,
Terminator 2 just because of the body language of that movie, I think is so good.
yeah.
Because I'm always referencing that now whenever we do mocap with like androids or killers or things like that, is I
Yeah.
reference Terminator 2 with like head movement. Because a
Right.
lot of stunts is, there's like too much head movement. It's like you throw a punch and you throw your head. And Donnie Yen
Yeah.
kind of did that in Flashpoint, right? He made up this punch where you threw the punch and he kind of looked like 180 away.
Right.
And that's super cool, but it's not always applicable.
Yeah.
Um, and
Right.
so, the Terminator, he just never really takes eye contact off of the target, and it's the same with the T-1000. And it just kind of
Yeah.
lends credibility to their movement,
Right.
and
I
it's this
agree.
underlying, yeah, it's this underlying kind of feel that you get from the movie, and I could just watch that all day.
Yeah.
And I think Arnold is like one of the American masters of movement.
Mm,
Just in terms of being able to do, he does Total Recall. Total Recall is like more like human Arnold,
yeah.
and then he does Terminator 2 the next year, and it's Terminator Arnold, and he could do those back to back, and they're like night and day.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Uh,
the Robert Patrick's version of the T-1000 also
yeah,
has very specific movement style. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that
You
makes
can't beat
sense.
it. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that since. Maybe
Yeah.
like Scarlett Johansson in what was that
Uh
movie where she's an alien?
Under the Skin.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
she's
That
fantastic.
indie weird movie she
Yeah,
did.
she's
Yeah.
fantastic. Oh my gosh, what a great movie. Like
Yeah.
that's another one I could watch all day, but it's so creepy I wouldn't want to bring it with me.
It is creepy.
Um, all right,
Yeah.
my number four would be Hardcore Henry.
Oh, really? I still haven't seen that.
I
I
love
still haven't
Hardcore
seen
Henry.
it.
I'm a
Okay,
huge
yeah.
fan of Hardcore Henry.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I feel like my fifth one is gonna have to be a Japanese movie. Um, like
Zatoichi.
or
I don't know.
yeah, probably a Zatoichi film. I
Okay.
can't remember the title of one of them. I think it was The Chest of Gold. I think that
Okay.
was my favorite Zatoichi.
Word.
So I'd probably bring that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's sick. That's a pretty good
Yeah.
list. Um, well, yeah, I think that was I hit most of the questions I had. I could just
Right on.
I could just talk about Hong Kong cinema with you all day. Maybe we'll do another one of these
Ah,
if you'd like. But
let's do it. Let's do just talk kung fu, man. I've
hell
been trying
yeah.
to get something like that together with Arden, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
Arden Rodney Dennis?
Uh,
Yeah.
wait. Wait,
The
no, which
captain from
one's
the
Ronnie
Forum.
Dennis?
Arden, remember him? He was
No.
Ardenn, Rdenn. Oh
Oh,
yeah, so
from the
he's the one who's got like all
yes. Oh, now I remember Arden. Yes, yes, yeah. Did
yeah.
he uploaded like everything, right?
He's got everything.
He has like
He has
everything.
everything. See,
Yeah.
he's on this Indonesian kick now. If you go to his
Right.
Instagram, he'll
Okay.
post like Indonesian martial art films from the 80s and 90s, and they're Hong Kong style. And you're like, oh, okay, here's a
They were doing
new.
that. They were doing that
I
back
know, I
then.
had no idea.
I didn't know
And they're
anything
kind of
before
sloppy, but
Morato. Yeah.
they've got some great like kicking in there and stuff, and
Oh,
some
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys too that you could just talk martial art movies with him all day. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you, Eric. If there's anything you'd like to, I know you have a book and obviously a YouTube channel. Please tell the people at home about your
I do
wares.
have a book. Here, let me show it to you.
Yeah.
So I wrote a book. It's called If These Fists Could Talk. It's
Yeah.
half autobiography and half kind of an analysis of action and violence. And you can get it on Amazon. And
Yeah.
I this is my first book, so it's got a lot of theorizing in it.
Yeah.
But it's I'm very passionate about violence now because I think that if we could understand violence in a more scientific.
I don't know. Well, damn. Okay. Sorry, it'll come back in a second. Probably. Oh, okay, we're back. Sorry. I was probably frozen for you.
Oh, we're back. That's all right. Should I do that again?
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
little bit, yeah.
Just
You
from
want
when
me
you
to redo
bring
that?
the
Okay.
book up because one of we got
Yeah.
frozen, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I wrote a book. It's called If These Fists Could Talk, a stuntman's unflinching take on violence. You can get it on Amazon right now. It's $13. Kindle, I think, is $8. And it's part autobiography and part science book about violence and movement. And my theory
Cool.
is that if we could come up with a better science of violence, which we don't have right now, we
Mm.
don't have one. It's very sort of murky, the science around violence. It's a lot of
Nebulous?
politicking and there's not much science, right? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
nobody really like anybody who writes on violence is either way too close to it or way too far away from it. And it
Word.
tends to get a little bit too political. Tends to be
Mm.
about like, well, these people should do violence, these people shouldn't. It tends to be more about that stuff rather than just talking about what is it? Like,
Right.
what is human violence, right? And I
Right.
get into that. And so this is my first stab at kind of a science of violence, and I hope that this sort of lends to a better kind of understanding of movement. And it's something I use all the time in my work in motion capture.
Yeah. That's awesome. I remember you because I watched one of the videos you talked the talks you gave about it, and one of the things I thought was really interesting was you were saying like when animals fight, like like a goat goes against another goat, maybe they have like horns or whatever. They know how they're gonna fight each other. They're
Yeah,
gonna headbutt each other. This is
yeah,
what they know that.
that's all I
But with
ask.
humans, because we have like these aptitude to like use weapons, hide stuff, fashion weapons or whatever, when humans engage in fights, we have to make rules of engagement because otherwise it could escalate into now what we have, which is literally like atomic nuclear
Yeah,
wars or whatever. Like
exactly it.
literally could go from, hey, I didn't like what you said. Well, now your whole people are wiped out because
Yeah, it
that's
can
how
go
much
very
we've
quickly.
escalated
Yeah,
to with human beings, and so
yeah,
that's it's a lot of interesting. So I would love to, yeah, a lot of interest, read a lot of your takes on all of that. So, yeah, check it out, everybody, and I'll have a link in the description of this episode.
right on.
And yeah, Eric, thank you. Also, what's your YouTube channel for the people to check out your
You
work?
can find me on YouTube at Eric Jacobus Official. I'm on X at the Eric Jacobus and Instagram Eric Jacobus Official.
Beautiful. Thank you again, Eric. I would love to hopefully do another one of these. We just
Let's do it. Thanks,
talk.
man.
Now that I've gone over your career, we could be like, okay, let's talk about who are the best screenwriters of all time.
Cool.
Because that would be
That'll be fun.
that'd be fun. Thank you so much, man.
All right. Thanks.